Good evening and welcome to Reporters Corner. I'm Amritpal Singh. This is a show on which we tell you the big developments of the day. We go across to our reporters spread across the length and breadth of the country chasing the biggest story of the day. Let's begin the show. I'm Amritpal Singh. Well, let's begin with the big story of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi a little while back inaugurated the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra, an interactive experience center on the Swachh Bharat mission in Delhi. Upon his arrival, he paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi and then inaugurated the center. The Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra is a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. It was first announced by the Prime Minister on the 10th of April in 2017 on the occasion of the centenary celebrations of Gandhiji's Champaran Satyagraha. The installations at the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra aim to introduce future generations to the successful journey of the world's largest behavioral change campaign, the Swachh Bharat mission. A balanced mix of digital and outdoor installations, spreading information, awareness and education on Swachhata and related aspects. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi also saw a film showcasing India's Swachhata story, a journey into the largest behavior change campaign in the history of the world. After this, the Prime Minister visited other halls where he saw a series of interactive LED panels, hologram boxes. Interactive games were on display to tell the story of the work done to achieve Bapu's vision of Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat mission has transformed rural sanitation in India and has changed the behavior of over 55 crore people from open defecation to using a toilet. India has received high praise from the international community for this, and we've set a precedent for the rest of the world to follow. The mission is now in its second phase, aiming to take India's villages from open defecation free to ODF plus, with a strong focus on sustaining ODF status and ensuring solid and liquid waste management for all. And later, the Prime Minister also interacted with students from across the country. There were 38 students who were dressed up in 36 students dressed up in traditional attires and observing social distancing. The students represented a mini India.
महात्मा गांधी, महात्मा गांधी। आज का दिवस हिंदुस्तान के इतिहास में अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो इसका है। हम लोग आंदोलन चला रहे हैं, गंदगी भारत छोड़ो, गंदगी, गंदगी, गंदगी।
आप सभी मास्क पहन करके आए हैं और अपने दोस्तों के साथ 2 गज की दूरी भी बना करके बैठे हैं, चलते हैं। आप सब नियमों का जिस तरह से पालन कर रहे हैं वो देख करके सचमुच में मन को बहुत आनंद हो रहा है। कोरोना से इस तरह लड़ाई, मैं समझता हूं कि इस लड़ाई लड़ने की यही हथियार है और आपने उसको बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से अपने साथ जोड़ा है। ये केंद्र कैसा लगा आपको?
मैं उत्तर प्रदेश से हूँ, मैं कक्षा 9वीं में पढ़ती हूँ। मुझे सबसे अच्छा हॉल 1 लगा क्योंकि इसका जो थिएटर है वो 360 डिग्री घूमता है और इसमें जो हमें मूवी दिखाई गई मुझे उससे सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला और मज़ा भी बहुत आया।
मुझे खुशी हुई कि आपने टेक्नोलॉजी का कमाल भी देख लिया।
मेरा नाम पॉल कायलसांग है।
कहाँ से हैं?
सर मैं मणिपुर से 10वीं कक्षा का छात्र हूँ। मुझे वीडियो गेम्स खेलना बहुत पसंद है।
अच्छा।
इसलिए मुझे स्वच्छता गेम्स खेलने में सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा आया।
तो आप वैसे समय कितना लगा देते हैं वीडियो गेम में?
समय वीडियो गेम्स खेलने में मज़ा जो आता है इसलिए।
तो घर के सब लोग नाराज हो जाते होंगे आपसे?
हो जाते हैं कभी कभी।
देखिए, आप मणिपुर से हैं और नॉर्थ ईस्ट हम सबको बहुत कुछ सीखने जैसा है नॉर्थ ईस्ट से। साफ सफाई पर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में इतना बल दिया जाता है और एक प्रकार से वहाँ के व्यक्ति के जीवन में, समाज के जीवन में एक संस्कार है।
मैंने यहाँ स्वच्छता पे क्विज खेली जो मुझे बहुत पसंद आई। इसमें मैंने बहुत मज़े भी किए और फिर मैंने इसमें फुल मार्क्स तो हासिल भी किए हैं।
तो कितना मार्क्स मिला?
100 आउट ऑफ 100।
वाह, शाबाश।
जय हिंद सर। सर मैं आर शंकर तमिलनाडु से कक्षा 10वीं का छात्र।
वनकम।
वनकम सर। सर मुझे यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा फोटो बूथ पर अमिताभ बच्चन जी के साथ दरवाज़ा टॉयलेट के सामने फ़ोटो खिंचाना अच्छा लगा।
अच्छा
सर, मैं ये फ़ोटो अपने घर लेकर जाऊँगा और अपने कमरे में दरवाजे पर लगाऊँगा।
वाह, तो आपको लोगों को बताना पड़ेगा ये फ़ोटो तो दरवाज़ा बंद की है। अच्छा, आप में से कोई मुझे और कुछ कहना चाहता है क्या?
मैं गुजरात से कक्षा 8वीं की छात्रा हूँ। आपने हमें यहाँ बुलाया उसके लिए धन्यवाद और हमें आना बहुत अच्छा लगा। हमने यहाँ पे स्वच्छता केंद्र देखा और उसमें हमने स्वच्छता शपथ भी ली। तो आपके हिसाब से हम बच्चे इसमें मदद कैसे कर सकते हैं?
आपने देखा होगा बाहर आते ही समय सारे बच्चे वानर सेना किस प्रकार से गांवों के अंदर सीटी बजा करके जो लोग नियम कानून तोड़ते थे उनको रोकते थे। आपने देखा होगा बाहर पेड़ पे सब बनाया हुआ है। तो ये जो वानर सेना है, यानी आप जैसे बच्चों की ताकत जो होती है वो बहुत बड़ी होती है। तो लोग मुझे कहते थे कि हमारे बच्चे हमको परेशान करते हैं। बोले कहीं कोई चीज डाल दी तो घर में आकर के कह रहे हैं दादू इसको ठीक करो, ये ठीक नहीं कर रहे हैं। और एक प्रकार से बच्चों ने इस मूवमेंट को बहुत चलाया। आप लोग बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं। अब जैसे घर में कूड़ा कचरा है, इतनी आदत डालिए भाई, गीला कचरा एक बाजू, सूखा कचरा एक बाजू। आप अपने घर में, अपने अड़ोस पड़ोस में सिखा सकते हैं। प्लास्टिक उपयोग नहीं करना, कहीं थूकना नहीं। ये सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं जो सहज रूप से हम लोग कर सकते हैं।
So that was Prime Minister Modi interacting with students from all across the country. The students represented mini India in the traditional attires. This was a little while back in Delhi. And after that, the Prime Minister gave a speech where he signified the importance of cleanliness. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, imagine what would have happened had a pandemic like coronavirus broken out before 2014. Could we have imposed lockdown when over 60% population was forced to go and defecate in the open? The Prime Minister further said that Swachhata has empowered us in the fight against COVID-19.
देश के बच्चे बच्चे में पर्सनल और सोशल हाइजीन को लेकर जो चेतना पैदा हुई है, उसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ कोरोना के विरुद्ध लड़ाई में भी मिल रहा है। आप जरा कल्पना कीजिए, अगर कोरोना जैसी महामारी 2014 से पहले आती तो क्या स्थिति होती? शौचालय के अभाव में क्या हम संक्रमण की गति को कम करने से रोक पाते? क्या तब लॉकडाउन जैसी व्यवस्थाएं संभव हो पाती? जब भारत की 60% आबादी खुले में शौच के लिए मजबूर थी, स्वच्छाग्रह ने कोरोना के खिलाफ लड़ाई में हमें बहुत बड़ा सहारा दिया है।
And for more on that story, I'm joined by my colleague Vishal Baristo, who joins us from Delhi. Vishal, the Prime Minister giving a very important message, saying that the children have, a major role to play, an important part to play in instilling the cleanliness habit when he was interacting with these 36 children from across the length and breadth of the country. And I can see those children with you.
Had this historic opportunity to interact with the Prime Minister, and particularly the message that he has given in this pandemic, how important is cleanliness. So let's talk to some of the children who have come and who are representing different states, 28 states and 8 UTs. What's your name?
My name is Tanzin Idzis, and
Look at the camera. And where are you from?
I'm from Ladakh.
What did you gather from the Prime Minister's interaction today?
The message that he sent to the nation, it was a very beautiful message. And what I liked the most about all of his points concluding it was that no matter how many washrooms and toilets and facilities we give to the nation, until and unless we know how to use it, until and unless we change the behavior of the people, we can't change the nation. We can't change the way the people use the washrooms and the toilets, and we can't change the way we keep the hygiene of the country.
So hygiene is very important. There you heard from the little girl. Another girl, she's representing which state?
I'm representing Odisha.
Odisha, she's from Odisha. Now, mask is the new normal and sanitization is very important, is the key mantra. So what it must have been a good opportunity for you interacting with the Prime Minister. Now, when you go to your home, when you go back, so what would you tell to your fellow children, fellow boys and girls?
I will tell them that I have met Prime Minister and I like it very much. It is very interesting, and how they got a beautiful message for us that sanitization and hygiene, cleanliness is very important in our life, and it is very useful to us.
Hygiene is very important. I also have one more girl. Which state are you presenting?
I present Chandigarh.
She's from UT Chandigarh. Amrit, she's from Chandigarh. So, what did you get from the Prime Minister's message? Because now mask, sanitization, hygiene is the key mantra, is the new normal, particularly in this pandemic. And when the Prime Minister says that India was already into that cleanliness mode, and that is why we are well equipped to fight this disease, this menace. So what did you get from it?
I get knowledge from it that Prime Minister is gifted people to toilets, and he understand that garbage is separate your garbage in separate dustbins.
Okay. So there you heard, Amrit, these children, they also have the teachers here, the principals here, and together they have gathered from the Prime Minister that this menace we all have to fight together. Swachhata is the key mantra, hygiene is the key mantra, we have to maintain sanitation, we have to inculcate the habit of wearing mask in public, maintain social distancing. This is what they have gathered here, and they are all very happy to interact with the Prime Minister. And this message would not go only across the country, but across the world, because the world knows that India is a huge country. Remember, we have a population which is second largest in the world, and we have a tropical climate, and still we are able to tackle and fight this menace. So this is the message that they have got. Amrit?
Okay. Vishal, the Prime Minister also spoke about the use of technology. He said Swachhata robots there. It's an interactive center here at the Swachhata Kendra. Ask the children if they had fun using technology, getting the message of Swachhata.
Okay. The Prime Minister also spoke about the technology, what key role technology and how important technology can play a role. So what did you gather from that?
So basically the way they have kept all the exhibitions in the halls, the hall 1 and 2, the way they have used technology to show that, to give knowledge to the nation, I guess it is first time in India that such high tech is used, and it is very beautifully shown, and like it is interesting for the students as well.
Interesting for the student. How interesting was it for you, and what did you learn? How important is technology now, and as a youngster, how are you going to use that technology?
It's an amazing experience. It's historic. It's amazing. You know, I learned a lot from this. This is historic moment. I have first ever, this close to PM, and that was amazing. Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. Let's talk to some more students. The Prime Minister spoke about the use of technology as far as cleanliness and sanitation is concerned. We are all fighting the pandemic. Yes, Amrit.
Yeah, I know the Prime Minister spoke to this young boy. He said he played video games. Vishal, I'm running out of time. tell these children they were playing a very important role, and now they have an important role when they go back to their states to spread the message of cleanliness which they got directly with the Prime Minister through their personal interaction with them. Vishal, I'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us and getting us these young, bright youngsters along with you today. Thank you. And well, let's talk about the plane tragedy which took place at Calicut yesterday. A detailed examination is on in the passenger flight crash that occurred on Friday evening at the Kozhikode airport in Kerala, which claimed 18 lives as per official data. Meanwhile, 23 passengers are critically injured. The 2 black boxes have been found from the crash site. At least 149 injured people were admitted to hospitals, out of which 23 have been discharged. The Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri and Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan visited the site of the crash and took stock of the situation. Minister Puri held consultations with senior civil aviation officials and professionals. In a tweet, Hardeep Puri said digital flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder of the ill-fated aircraft have been retrieved. He said Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau AAIB is conducting the investigations. Meanwhile, the Air India Express flight that was part of the Vande Bharat mission carrying 91 passengers, including crew members from Dubai, had skidded off the tabletop runway while landing at the Kozhikode airport in Kerala late last evening. At 7:41 p.m. last evening, the plane skidded from the runway, crash landed nearly 35 feet below and split into 2 pieces. And Civil Aviation Minister announced a compensation of 10 lakh rupees for the next of kin of those deceased and 2 lakh rupees each for the people who suffered serious injuries.
Our passengers who have suffered injuries are receiving medical treatment in the government and the private hospitals. We are doing whatever we can. We will be making an interim relief payment of rupees 10 lakhs for each of the deceased, for rupees 2 lakhs for those who are seriously injured, and 50,000 of those for those who may have suffered minor injuries.
And the officials of the Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau, AAIB, DGCA and Flight Safety Department have reached Kozhikode for investigating the accident. CMD of Air India, CEO of Air India Express, Chief of Operations Air India Express and Chief of Flight Safety Air India Express have also reached Calicut. Meanwhile, Air India Express has changed its color from red to black on the social media platform, mourning the death of the pilots in the tragedy. Air India Express had established Passenger Information Center and a helpline number 1800 222271 for those calling from outside. And the Ministry of the Ministry of External Affairs has also set up a helpline. It's a 24-hour helpline. The numbers are 1800 118 797, and there is also a number in Delhi 011 230 12113 and 011 23 01 4104. Meanwhile, the Indian consulates in Dubai and Sharjah have activated 5 numbers, and these numbers are these numbers that you see on your screen are the MEA numbers, and the numbers that we're talking about are being flashed on your screens. Meanwhile, the Indian consulates in Dubai and Sharjah have also activated 5 helpline numbers to provide information to the family members of Air India Express flight that skidded off at the runway at the Karipur airport in Kerala. The helpline numbers are as follows: +97156 546 3903 and the rest of the numbers that you see on your screens. These are the numbers you can call in Dubai and Sharjah, because this flight was coming from Dubai. We are joined for more on that story by my colleague Sunit Sukumaran. He's joining us from Kozhikode. Sunit, first of all, give us a sense of what is the condition of those injured right now. Once again, if you could put out the number of the fatalities, the deaths, and the number of the injured, and what is the position of the injured as of now?
Amrit, the glad news is that as many as 22 people has been discharged from various hospitals today. But at the same time, 149 people are still in hospital. Around 16 hospitals have been set up for them by state government, state authorities. And among them, 22 persons are in critical situations. That's the official report that we are getting from the hospital authorities. Among them, 3 people are still in ventilators. That means their condition is very critical, and the doctors are trying their level best to say that.
Okay, Sunit,
and the 18 dead bodies.
Yes, please carry on. Please carry on.
Around 18 dead bodies, 18 dead bodies has been handed over to the Kings today itself after a detailed postmortem and inquest that happened in Calicut Medical College today, and one dead body, one person found COVID positive, and so that body will be buried as per the COVID protocol.
Okay, Sunit, the Aircraft Accidents Investigation Bureau AAIB and the DGCA Flight Safety Department have reached Kozhikode. Any new? The minister also said the voice recorder and the black box have been found. Any initial leads into how the accident happened? I mean, we know it skidded off the runway, but why the skidding? Was it the rain? What was it really?
The initial report says that the major reason, at first we have got a detail like it was due to bad weather. The pilot failed to land it in the exact landing spot. That's why it skidded off from the runway and fall down to 35 feet land. And that's the main thing that even the higher officials also focusing on it, because since the last 2 days Kerala is witnessing massive rain, and the pilot tried 2 attempts before he landing, and it was on the 3rd attempt he landed, and that resulted in this tragic end.
All right, Sunit, we'll have to leave it there due to paucity of time. Many thanks for joining us for the moment. And moving on to Bihar, in Bihar the flood situation remains critical. 16 districts have been severely affected. More than 71 lakh people were affected in more than 1100 panchayat areas of Sitamarhi, Darbhanga, Muzaffarpur, East and West Champaran districts are the worst affected districts of the state. The river Bhagmati, Gandak, Buri Gandak and Bhagmati are still flowing much above the danger mark. Medical teams along with the anti-rabies kits and snake bite serum are deputed in the flood affected areas to provide medical aid to the flood affected people. 6 relief camps are being run in Khagadia and Samastipur districts. A total of 33 NDRF and SDRF teams have been deployed for relief and rescue operations. The Met Department has predicted light to moderate rains in the catchment areas of Bihar over the next 24 hours. Meanwhile, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar visited flood affected areas of West Champaran. On Friday, Chief Minister also had a meeting with officials. He took a stock of relief works being done in flood affected areas. And for more on that story, I'm joined by my colleague Salman Haider. Salman, give us the latest situation on the floods. We know 16 districts are the worst affected districts. What is the kind of or what are the kind of operations going on the ground?
Most of the rivers now are either steady or receding. So we may hope some improvement in flood situation in a couple of days. But now the focus is on relief and rescue work. The people in flood affected districts are in a very pitiable condition. I will tell you, a large chunk of population is living on embankments itself, and there are several problems cropping up there. For example, snake bite, because snake come out very frequently when the water is logged somewhere. So and dog bites also. So the medical teams are deployed there to face the twin challenges, to cope up with twin challenges like COVID-19 and flood-related problems that may come to those people who are in a pitiable condition there.
Yeah. All right. Salman, we hope. Yeah, as you say, that now the rivers are receding, so we hope the situation improves. Many thanks, Salman Haider, for joining us and giving us that update. You keep tracking the story, we'll keep coming back to you. All right, let's now turn our focus to Assam, where floodwaters continue to recede. The situation is improving considerably in the state, with people returning back to their homes. Lives have started returning back to normal, as the number of districts affected by flood stands at 6 out of 33. However, the administration is working hard to resettle the flood-affected people whose houses may have been damaged and washed away by the devastating flood and erosion. Most houses are full of mud, and with flood water receding, while drinking water is a big issue, lives returning back to normal. I'm joined by my colleague Mridu Smita. She's joining us from Guwahati. Mridu Smita, after the devastation caused by the floods, though the waters are receding, that's good news. People are trying to return back to their homes, but now relief, reconstruction, getting drinking water, seeing that diseases don't spread, that would be the major challenge on the hands of the government.
Yes, of course, Amrit, since this is the issue that has been always faced by the administration, and however, earlier itself, since the flood started, the government was already prepared for such a thing, because usually diseases like Japanese encephalitis, then malaria, such are the diseases which usually spread after the flood recedes. And this is what the administration had already been tracking. In fact, they have been spreading various awareness camps to know more about Japanese encephalitis, because as there is more mud around after the water recedes, usually the mosquitoes, they tend to rear by the poultry and the various pigs, whatever they have, the families they have. Usually this is a problem that usually the people face, and the medical teams, they are on high alert, because this is also a COVID time, where another issue is this is also a very critical condition. And
a challenge on the hands of the government.
And yes,
all right.
Of course. However, since things are getting better, but yes, of course, the heat wave is also there. The city, Guwahati city is
we'll have to
also undergoing various problems with that.
All right. I'll have to thank you there, Mridu Smita. I'm completely out of time, but thank you so much for joining us with your updates. And that's it in Reporters Corner for the moment. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.